Instead of begging real estate agents to bring you deals for the rest of your business, why don't you do what I do, which is build an army of real estate agents that will bring deals to you for the rest of your life. In this call, which is about 25 minutes, you guys have been asking for more agent and more seller calls, so we're bringing them to you. This agent starts out with not wanting to do business with me. In fact, she was standing on a ladder installing blinds, and she got off that ladder to have this conversation with me that goes 25 minutes long. Not only is it a masterclass, but it's one of 30 calls that I want to give you. I want to give you these calls that I did during a No One Left Behind challenge. Check me out right here. I go to 10 freshmen, people that have never done a deal before, and I said, hey, 10 freshmen, set me the worst possible leads you can, and I will show you how to convert them into either deals or really amazing real estate agent relationships for the rest of my life. We call this the No One Left Behind challenge, and you can join the next challenge that we have next month by going to nolbchallenge.com. You want to be a newbie on my team or somebody else's team inside the Subto community? Well, that's what these freshmen did. They brought leads to me, and this call that you're going to enjoy was one of those calls. All of those calls can be found down below. We'll give you a gift of all 30 calls, and I hope to see you guys in the No One Left Behind challenge next month after you see how amazing it is to get one agent to bring you deals for the rest of your life. Enjoy the video.
This is Milan.
Milan, I'm so sorry. I was helping somebody out of foreclosure. This is Pace. I'm like calling you 15 minutes late.
Oh, you're good.
How's it going on that Plano house?
We have someone interested, but they were working on financing, so I'm not really sure what's going on yet.
Okay. Did Myron talk to you about seller finance stuff?
No, it was, I think I talked to, oh shoot, I forgot the name.
Myron is my partner. He wrote he probably sent you an email with an LOI, and then somebody on my team, it's probably like a new trainee, set the appointment.
Yeah, Tony.
Okay,
Tony,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Have you and your seller had conversations about seller finance?
No, we haven't. I'm not sure if it's something she would be interested in, but she'll ask a lot of questions, so I want to make sure I have all the information and I have clear expectations for her. I'll talk to her daughter because her daughter is really helping her and guiding her through this whole process and everything. So
is that because she doesn't speak English, or is she just busy?
She's lived in the same house for 48 years.
Damn.
So she's never
There's some emotional stuff there.
sold a house before. She's okay, like on the emotional scale now, but she relies on her daughters, and I've helped both of her daughters buy and sell their homes, and so they referred me to her for selling her house. And so so she just doesn't know, so she asks them all the questions. Okay. So then I usually have to like talk to them first, lay it all out, and then I talk to her, and then she calls them.
Nice. I love it. Okay.
So it's a lot.
You know, I always tell people agents have such a harder job than most people give them credit for, because you're a therapist, you're a counselor, and you're an agent. You know, you're doing all of the things.
Yeah. But okay, so yeah, with the seller financing, I did look at it and everything, but it's just, I get it, it's pretty vague.
Can I tell you the reason it's vague?
Sure, yeah.
Because we just want to get on a phone call. That's it. And I'll be honest with you. It's never really about the house for us. It's always the relationship with the agent. We find that 9 out of 10 deals we do are with our agents who we talked to about 4 deals prior. And the first deal we reached out to them on is not where we make our money together. First and foremost, I'm glad that we have a relationship. I'll text you my info. I'm the owner. I'm the one that wires the money and signs the checks and does all the things.
Okay.
And if this deal doesn't work out, who cares? Let's do 10 other deals over the next 2 years, right? So no big deal. Here's what we do as a business. We buy real estate really only 3 different ways. We're either gonna lowball somebody that's like a hoarder. This lady is definitely not that seller. You know, somebody that has a bad house, it's falling apart. We're gonna come in and we're gonna try and buy the house 50 cents on the dollar. Pretty typical, you run into those knuckleheads all the time.
Right.
So I'm one of those knuckleheads as well. But what I do differently is I also will pay full price for a seller, and I will pay commissions as long as the seller's willing to do seller finance. And what my agents that I work with, we're in 15 states. I'm not all over the country, but I'm in 15 states. What my agents like is that I can get on the phone with the seller when the seller says, hey, I am interested, but I have questions. I don't want to put you in a situation where you have to explain stuff. So let them interview me. get me on a Zoom with them. I'd be happy to chat with them. And whether that works with this seller or it doesn't matter. I just want to give you an understanding of what I'm willing to do for any other deals in the future with you.
Okay.
So on the seller finance front, on this particular deal, on my side, I want to put no money down and get 0% interest, obviously. That's not going to work for your seller, right? What I would do is I would just say, hey, I would reach out maybe to the daughters or maybe to the mom and say, hey, I've got a seller that would pay full asking price and my commissions out of his pocket, but he wants to be able to make monthly payments to you for the next handful of years until he can refinance. And you don't even have to say seller finance. Just say it that way and let's see what comes out of it. If they say no, cool. If they say, yeah, but we have questions, I'm willing to get on a Zoom and kind of explain what I've done on the last 5 transactions or the last 1 transaction and just make it really simple.
Okay. I mean, I've known this family, I've known one of the daughters since high school. So I've known her a long time. Yeah. And I know kind of some of the stuff she's going to ask. I see the purchase price seller finance, you've got 633. And I understand there's the inspection and everything. So obviously things can
What's the list price?
Honestly, I don't even remember now. I've been dealing with so many different
I get it. I mean, I'm the one sending offers and I don't remember it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm I don't
Is the offer, if we send an offer at 633, I bet you the list price is probably somewhere right around there.
Okay, yeah. So we did drop the price. I just couldn't remember what it was. So here's the thing. With this property, I've had multiple investor offers and I've talked to several of them on the phone. All of them have put the ARV at 690 for the house. We did originally list it at 615 because obviously, the house is not updated.
She's been there for 48 years, yeah.
Yeah. But the house is, the roof is good, the foundation's good. She did all new windows in the house except for the front windows that have the iron on it to keep that Tudor style look on the front of the home. And she did a new back door. She had updated to a tankless water heater, added some extra wattage and stuff for the electricity. And so she's done things like that, but she hasn't done
the cosmetics.
Cosmetic stuff as much. She's done new carpet. She's done hardwood floors in there, whatever
But the layout is a 48-year-old layout, which is not what a retail buyer wants right now, probably, right?
Yeah, and honestly, the layout is even fine too. To me, from what I've been told from other investors, the main things that they're looking at it's the popcorn ceilings and it's the layout of the master bathroom, and the need or the want to renovate the kitchen. The kitchen's not huge, but it's enclosed and it's original. Yeah. So to put in granite countertops and do all those things, when we had it listed at 615, we were getting better investor offer prices. But then when we dropped the price to try to bring more, buyers that wanted to live there, it just dropped the price of investor offers even more. And I'm like, no, we were listed at 565. Yeah. We're listed at 565 showing that, hey, look, that's $125,000 in playroom right there for you to do the updates to the house. Yeah. To get your 690. Yeah, I know 690 could, change in the next 6 months to a year, but probably not by a lot, So we were trying to show some aggression, but not hand over the house. So, she's pretty much at her bottom line
on the cash side.
This price.
Is she moving into her daughter's home, or is she moving into a home, or what's going on?
She has already bought and closed on her house last week with me. Somewhere else. She's downsizing, so she owns this home on wood rail, and then she pulled out some of her investments or something and paid cash for her current house. So she's got to repay that when she sells this house. Got it. Okay. So there's no mortgage on wood rail.
Okay, so here's a couple of benefits to her working with me. And again, let's just assume it's not going to work out. But at least you know how I would look at stuff in the future when we do business together. I look at her as a seller and understanding her individual situation. She would probably like the highest possible purchase price. obviously. She would like an investor to not beat her up on price and then also get into inspection period and then drop her. You know, I have a house in Atlanta I'm selling right now. It's like 1.4 million. I'm selling it because it was just time. It appraised enough. It was time to sell it. And I get under contract, and of course my buyer wants what? They want a $50,000 credit because this, and this, and this. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. You know, the advantage of working with an investor is that I won't do that once we're in escrow. When we're in escrow at the price, especially on a seller finance type of thing. So she'll get the price that we contract at. However, here's the bigger benefit. The bigger benefit is she could charge me interest on how much she's carrying for me. And I can make a monthly payment to her. She can make interest on the money and then give me 36 months, 60 months, 72 months to refinance and get the bigger chunk of money to her. And between the high purchase price, me paying the commissions, and the interest she makes on the payments I make to her, she'll make a considerable amount more money by going through me.
So is it guaranteed that it's not going to be something where like she's expecting to earn interest and then in 6 months you're refinancing and paying it off and then she's like taking more of a loss than it was expected?
No, because I'd give her the purchase price she wants. Before we even talk about interest, let's get to the purchase price.
Gotcha, okay.
Like here's the great thing about creative finance. I don't care about the purchase price. I care about how I get there, right? So you care about the client, obviously, because you guys have a history with each other. You also care about your commissions. I will pay your commissions. I won't even barter with you. I won't even like mess around with negotiating with you on those. That's holy. That's a holy number. That's your money, okay? What I care about is how can I get into the deal without having to go put 30% down at a bank and go through a 4-month process, right?
Yeah.
And then that bank is going to go through an appraisal. And when they go through their appraisal, they're going to, oh, this 48-year-old house is blah, blah, or not 48-year-old, it's probably older than 48 years, but this house has these issues.
50.
Cool, so it's a 50-year-old house. I pay, in order for you to buy this house, you have to fix this, this, and this before we give you financing. Like, I mean, you deal with lenders all the time. Even though you like your lenders, you roll your eyes at least once a week when you have to deal with your lenders. You're just like, really? You need more? And you want to take off more? And you want us to fix more? I get to avoid all that when I buy on seller finance. And so do you. And so does your seller. So my main thing is go to her and say, I have a buyer who's willing to give you the purchase price you want, get my commissions paid, as long as he can make payments to you and pay you some interest along the way that gives him enough time to refinance into a new loan after cleaning up the property and stabilizing it. Stabilizing it would be like, getting a renter in there and having them in there long enough that my bank would be happy with it.
Okay.
Make sense? And again, you and I have a relationship. You and I are going to do 10 deals together the next 5, 6 years, whatever, maybe more. I am happy to talk to your sellers when you're on the phone with me if you ever feel like my confidence and my ability to talk about this stuff will help you get the deal done.
Okay. I mean, it definitely sounds interesting.
Well,
I'm always hesitant of like.
here's what I would say.
A good offer. It's like,
yeah.
You're like, well, okay, this is too good to be true. This is going to be a pain in the butt, like buyer or something, isn't it? So this is a very interesting thing because I've never done something like this before, and.
Well, you know what? There was a point in your life where you never hung up blinds either.
Yeah.
And you had to climb off a ladder to talk to me. So let's go do a deal together. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because, you're in it for not the quick and upfront.
I am in it for the quick and upfront. Can I tell you how that works?
Yeah.
So I don't pay taxes, federal income taxes, okay? How do I do that? I do that by buying properties like this, and properties like this allow the IRS to reward me with something called depreciation. I won't make money, but I will save money. So let's say like I have a mobile home park in Yuma, Arizona, and I make like 70 grand a year on it. But when I make 70 grand a year on that one mobile home park, the IRS wants 40% of that, right? But when I buy this property, I can go to the IRS and say, hey, IRS, I was a really good investor this year. I bought another piece of real estate. Will you please make it so that 70 grand I made on the other mobile home park, I don't have to pay any taxes on it? And the way they do that is depreciation. They allow me to take this house and wipe out my profits on other houses. All right, so we've got Jose right here. He's currently editing the video that you are currently watching, and I'm right now doing a live class. How is the live class, guys? If you guys ever want to come to a live class, go to whereispace.com, but that's not why I'm interrupting the YouTube video. I'm actually interrupting the YouTube video because Jose is sitting there editing going, dude, this depreciation thing is going over my head a little bit. Can you explain it to me in a little bit dumber terms? Hell yeah, I can. Let's go. Come here. All right, so depreciation is the gift that the IRS gives us, okay? The IRS, believe it or not, is actually really good. They want to incentivize me to buy more real estate. Why does the IRS want to incentivize me? Is because the government doesn't know how to solve affordable housing. And so the IRS goes, oh, we've got a good idea. If we can come up with some incentives for a real estate investor to go and provide affordable housing to the marketplace, we'll give them tax benefits for doing so. So how do I earn those tax benefits is something called, really stupid name, you ready for it? Depreciation, okay? Depreciation, I'm gonna tell you what it is now. You now know where it comes from, correct? The IRS is giving it to me as a reward. The IRS says, you buy a house today for, let's say, $350,000, okay? Actually, let's change that number because the average price of a home in America is how much right now? Do you know? It's $450. So I go buy a house today for $450. What's cool is the IRS says if you don't repair it and maintain it over the course of 27.5 years, you don't do any repairs. The roof goes bad, the hot water heater goes bad, the windows break, it's losing value, it's depreciating value, okay? Makes sense? So in 27.5 years, the IRS says your $450,000 house will be worth $0 if you do not repair it. So the IRS says, hey, Jose, we're gonna give you these amazing tax benefits every single year to help you pay for those repairs that we know you're gonna have to make. Make sense? So I get 27.5 years of tax benefits. How do we come up with the tax benefits? Can somebody help me out? What's the one part of this house, by the way, that will not fall apart? The land, okay?
I was in the ballpark.
Cool. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take 30% off for the land. That's kind of like general rule of thumb. And that means, what's 450 times 0.7, which is 70%? 315. Okay, so that means 315 is what the house is worth. Make sense? The IRS says, let's divide 315 by 27.5 years. What's that number? 315 divided by 27.5. Okay, cool. So the IRS is saying, I'm gonna give you $11,455 every year as a tax benefit for the next 27.5 years because I want you to be incentivized to own more real estate. The IRS wants me to own real estate. Why? Because real estate investors solve problems that the government can't solve. I'm sorry, Democrats, but we solve problems that you can't solve, okay? Do you know how much I paid in taxes last year?
$0.
I paid $0 in 2023. That's right. Your Democrat, Republican, everybody uses depreciation that is in politics. So this whole thing of like, oh, the Democrats, we're gonna tax the rich and all that kind of stuff. Guys, entrepreneur is who you wanna be. Forget about Republican, Democrat, be an entrepreneur. We get all the benefits, okay? So what I got this year for buying enough real estate last year is I paid $0 in taxes in 2023 because of this, and I got $3,000 from the IRS, and I get $4 million carryover to this year from how much real estate I bought last year. That's crazy. Okay, cool. How is that possible? Is because I bought this house. Now here's what's magical, okay? What I typically do, Jose, is I will take the first 7 years up front. This is called bonus or accelerated depreciation. So I can take 7 of the years. Can somebody take 11,455 and multiply by 7 years? 80,181. I can take all of that tax benefit in the first year I buy this house. Why? Again, I'm gonna go back to the why and where it comes from over and over and over because it's confusing to people. The IRS wants to incentivize me to buy more of these houses. Why? Because the federal government does not know how to solve affordable housing. That's not what their job is. Their job is to incentivize the entrepreneur to go do the things that they need provided to the economy. They do that through tax benefits. One of the tax benefits is I own a piece of real estate. That means, here's what this $80,000 means. Do I get a check for $80,000? No. It means that I can go over here in my other business. Let's say I'm fixing and flipping, Jose, and I fix and flip a different house, completely unrelated house, and I make $80,181 on that flip. Let's just say, magically, forget about this number for a second. I go fix and flip that house. Will I have to pay taxes on that house? Yeah, I'll probably pay about, I'd say 30K in taxes on that 80,000. So did I make 80,000 or did I make 50,181? I mean, yeah, I flipped a house, I made $80,000. I bought it for a low price, I sold it for a higher price. You follow me on the flip?
Yeah.
Okay, did I really make 80,000 or did I bring in 80,000 and now Uncle Sam wants his portion?
Yeah.
Cool. So I earned 30,000 for Uncle Sam and I earn $50,181 for myself. Is that correct? You follow me on this math? Here's what this $80,000 means. When I have tax benefits like this, Uncle Sam says, hey, I'll let this $80,181 slide because you have an $80,181 tax benefit over here. And so I just saved $30,000 in tax benefits because of that. Does that make sense? Cool. So buying that house this year actually saved me $30,000 in taxes. Is it complex? To a certain degree, but now you understand where it comes from, why do they do it. Depreciation is a way I get to keep my money from Uncle Sam.
Would that determine if you file as an S Corp, a C Corp, or any other type of corp?
Okay, so here's what you should do. Go to primecorporateservices.com/PACE, okay, or to go to startwithprime.com. I don't make any of these decisions myself. And by the way, do you now know what depreciation is to a certain degree, surface level?
Very surface level.
Okay. In the comments, guys, please say, no way, Jose. Now, back to the video.
Okay.
It's the craziest thing, I'm telling you. When I was just a contractor, like renovating other people's houses, and somebody told me they didn't pay taxes, I was like, you freaking crook. But now I do it. So I don't make money, but I keep more of my other money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I am incentivized to buy the property this year. I'm not gonna put more food on my family's table this year or next year by buying it. I'll usually make money by year 3, year 4, year 5.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Which means you should be buying some rental properties.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes. Here's how I look at this. This deal might be a no. And I want you to text me and say, Pace, this deal's a no. Let's look for the next one.
Well, I'm definitely interested in talking to her about it. I guess if she says she's interested, then what's the next step? Just writing up the contract with?
No, get on a phone call with me. She's gonna be my bank, right? Like I'm gonna send monthly payments to her. So she probably should interview me and like get to know me and see me on a Zoom and know that I have 2 eyes and a mouth and I'm not an alien, you know? And I can show her my credibility and I can show her all my stuff. And even at the end of that call, worst case scenario, you and I have a better relationship and you know me a little bit more and how I operate and we'll do more deals together, even if this is a no, even after that.
Okay.
So ask her, hey, I've got a buyer. He's interested at your asking price. He will pay my commissions and closing costs. And he pinky promised me that he won't even beat me up on repairs when we do the inspection. All he's asking in order to get to that number is that you let him make monthly payments for the next couple of years until he can refinance you out. And she'll say, wait, what? And you'll go, I know, sounds crazy. But he said it works. And I think maybe it would be good to explore a conversation with him. Would you like to get on a call with him? And if she says yes, then shoot me a text. Let's get on a call.
Okay.
And if she says, no, I don't like that, then send me a text and go, all right, Pace, on to the next one.
Okay. Would she need to just have a real estate attorney? Because now I'm thinking seller finance. Would she need, I'm guessing, a real estate attorney to kind of...
There's a couple things we could do.
Do that for her, the financing part?
No. The only time you would ever need a real estate attorney to do the financing part because of Dodd-Frank is if she has done more than 4 of these in 1 calendar year. So none of that pertains to her because Dodd-Frank does not pertain to her as an individual. However, we can go through a closing attorney. We've got multiple closing attorneys in Texas that we can go through that do these types of transactions. I've got Allison Tipton, Scott Horn, all sorts of people that we do a lot of business with. They can do all the contracts and the documents and the closing and all that kind of stuff, and we'll close through them.
Okay. So you're saying that you can do it that way, but you don't actually have to close that way.
Honestly, in Texas, I'd prefer to just go through a closing attorney every time. Like, let's go through a closing attorney every time. I'll pay the title fees, escrow fees, I'll pay all the things.
Okay.
And guess what? You're gonna walk through this transaction going, this was the easiest deal I ever did because we didn't have, I actually honestly don't call appraisals. I'm the appraiser on my own deal. I'm buying the deal. The seller's the bank. What do we need an appraiser for? I very rarely go through a full 50-page inspection. That's for retail buyers. I'm an investor. I'm gonna have one person walk through the property and they're gonna be my boots on the ground. And when they walk through the property, they'll take photos, text them to me and go, hey Pace, this is what I like, I don't like. And I go, hey, can the seller make sure that pool table is removed? I don't know, does she have a pool table? Probably not.
No.
But like, that's the worst thing I'll ever ask for. If you have a hot water heater that's falling apart, guess what? I'll fix that hot water heater myself.
Okay.
You don't need, I hate in Arizona, we call them benzers. Do you know what a benzer is? Okay, so inspection comes through. I pay for the inspection as the buyer. The inspector comes through, puts 50-page document. I don't know what you guys call them in Texas, but in Arizona, we call them buyer's inspection notice, seller's response. It's just a stupid acronym we use. You guys probably just call them an inspection list, or what do you guys call them?
Yeah, just an inspection report.
Yeah, it's the freaking worst. Because now you're like, okay, well, I thought I got into contract and I thought everything is going to be smooth sailing. Now it gets way worse because the buyer comes along and nitpicks you to death, and now you got to go back to your seller who was all excited 3 days ago when they got an offer. And now you're like, man, the buyer's asking for a $15,000 credit or for you to fix the water heater on the such and such and the AC unit, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, now you have to start managing and seeing if their contractors are going to show up and do all the things to make sure you can close on time. Guess what you don't have to do with me? Any of that.
Okay.
That's lame. Who wants to do that stuff?
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I'm not too worried about, I mean, like I said, her house, my husband and I were like, if we could buy her house, we would, because it's just so cool.
I'll help you. You want to move in it? I'll help you move in it. Let's go.
I mean, I grew up 5 minutes from there, and like.
Why don't you let me cover her down payment? I'll seller finance the thing to you. Let's go. Are you guys renting right now?
Oh no, we own our house.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
You got some homework to do. You let me know. You go put some work in on that. Shoot me a text message. I don't care if it's today, tomorrow, or next day, whatever, and let's chat about it.
Okay, I will give the daughter a call first and then see if we can get a hold
tell her,
of.
it's like, hey, I got a weird one for you. You ready for it? Like, start the conversation out the way so she's prepared to hear, like, wait, what?
Okay.
And I'm here for the no, and I'm here for the yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No, sounds good. No, thank you for explaining it all. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
All right. Good luck with those blinds.
All right. Yes. The next project.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye. I don't know how I could just tell you guys how good that call was.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Like, it's an 11 out of 10.
Like, your pull away was on point.
Yeah. That call. Again, another mic drop of like a relationship that'll be built, a girl who's sitting there going, how many times do you think she's ran into seller finance opportunities and she has just not even thought about it because she's like, well, I don't even know, da 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 da. This is how you recruit an army of agents to work on your behalf, is that right there. Like, that agent will do business with us for the next 15 years.